Morning, children. I hope you are all enjoyed holidays, a small a break for your studies. Again, come to normal to your studies. Children, I hope you are all fine. Here I am fine. Again, today I am in front of you with a new lesson. So, children, we have to deal a sixth lesson. What is inside the atom? Okay. Today we are going to discuss the first part of this lesson. So, children, please be attentive and listen carefully and complete the assignments. So, actually, in the last lesson, we have learned all matter is made up of atoms. The first modern atomic theory, which was proposed by John Dalton. According to Dalton, what was his theory? Atoms were indivisible. That means that they could not be divided into further smaller parts. Not only that, atoms of an element are all identical to each other and different from the atoms of other elements. So generally, then other scientists have few questions for this theory. Why are the atoms of different elements are different? Is there anything inside atom that make them to be same or different, or atom indivisible? So, as atoms are too small to be seen with naked eye, scientists relied on indirect evidence to prove that existence of atoms. Since they could not see the atoms, they could find its properties on the basis of some experiments. So, very soon, during the experiments done by Michael Faraday, he discovered that atoms were acquiring negative charge during the process of electrolysis. I hope you have remembered the process of electrolysis, what we have done in 8th standard lesson. Okay, so Michael Faraday discovery has raised a few questions about the indivisibility of atoms. So he could give a neutral atom become electrically charged. So it is a contradiction to Dalton's theory that the atoms was indivisible. So this led to an idea that there must exist some tiny particles in atom which are responsible for atom to behave sometimes as a charged particle. As atom is considered as electrically neutral, it probably have some positive constituents and equal number of negative constant to maintain its electrical neutrality. So this gave us scope to think about the subatomic particles. So topics to be covered in this lesson like subatomic particles, those are electrons, protons and neutrons, how the structure of an atom, Thomson's model of an atom, Bohr's model of the atom, valency, atomic number, atomic mass number and isotopes. So coming to know about subatomic particles, just in science actually, theories change when scientists discover new facts or a clues or any evidence. So sometimes an idea or a model will be changed as a new information is gathered according to that era scientist. So Dalton actually proposed that atoms could not be divided. But later on, experimental evidence began to show that atoms were divisible and are made up of small particle or particles. Since these particles are smaller than the atom and are present inside an atom, so they are called as subatomic particles. So the particles which are smaller than the atom and present inside the atom are called as subatomic particles. The three subatomic particles are electrons, protons and neutrons. Okay, since atoms are neutral, they should have at least two types of subatomic particles. One is positively charged and another is negatively charged. In fact, three different subatomic particles have been discovered. The third one is a particle without any charge. Okay, on the whole, we can conclude electrons are negatively charged, protons are positively charged, neutrons are neutral in charge. So experiments carried on different gases in 19th century. So like scientists studied the effects of applying electric current to gases at low pressure by using discharge tube. Other scientists did similar experiments in vacuum tubes also. But whereas in 1897 a British physicist Joseph John Thomson, he demonstrated on the basis of these experiments that negatively charged particles are present in the atoms. Initially, Thomson thought that negative particles would be different for each element, but after carrying out experiments with many different materials, he found that negatively charged particles from all the materials were always identical. So he concluded that same type of negatively charged particles are present in the atoms of all the elements. So these particles had a very small mass and are called as electrons. Electrons are the first subatomic particles in an atom. Electrons were discovered by J.J. Thomson. In short, we can call J.J. Thomson. Electron is represented by E minus. You have to remember this, children. The mass of an electron is considered to be negligible and its charge is considered as a 1 unit negative. So actually we know that an atom is electrically neutral. So up to now we have studied the electron is a negatively charged particle. So the atom must also contain some positively charged particles so that the overall charge on it becomes neutral. So this subatomic particle would have a charge that balances the charge of the electrons. So this subatomic particle was named as a proton in 1920. Okay, so what happens here? Proton is a positively charged subatomic particle of an atom. Its mass is approximately 1836 or 2000 times greater than that of an electron. So why I have written 1836 or 2000? Sometimes you may get the question or an objective like this also. Okay, you remember 1800 is almost when you round off it is 2000 only, children. So it is represented by P plus. Its charge is taken as 1 unit positive. In 1932, James Chadwick discovered another subatomic particle which had no charge and had a mass nearly equal to that of a proton. So it was named as a neutron. Generally, neutron is represented with N. So neutron is an uncharged particle that is no charge and has a mass nearly equal to that of a proton. Neutron is represented by N0. Okay. So whatever we have discussed, we have to conclude that the atoms are made up of small particles called protons, neutrons and electrons. Okay, up to now what we have studied. So each of these particles is described in the terms of measurable properties like mass and charge. So the protons and electron have equal but opposite electrical charges. Already I have discussed. Positive charge is protons and negative charge is electrons. A neutron has no electrical charge. And one more point you have to remember is the mass of an electron is almost or about 1836 times less than that of a proton or a neutron. Or you can remember 2000 times less than that of a proton or a neutron. Okay, so on the whole, the subatomic particles like neutrons, electrons and protons, their representation, so N0, E minus, P plus. So if an atom consists of a subatomic particles like proton, neutron and electron, how they are arranged in an atom, this can be studied by the structure of an atom with different atomic models. So coming to the properties of subatomic particles, and this is one of our 2 mark question, children. And what are three subatomic particles? That is also a 2 mark question, and that is a TQ question. You have to remember each and every point of this lesson clearly until your intermediate. This is important, children. Okay, so the particles what we have studied up to now are three, like electron, proton, and neutron. And we have to know about the symbol, the relative charge, and the relative mass, and that is compared with proton, children. Already in theory explained. So electron E minus, relative charge is 1 minus 1 by 1836. Already I have discussed with respect to proton and neutron. So proton is P plus, relative charge is 1 plus, and relative mass is 1. Okay, and when you come to the neutron, N is represented by N, or you can write as N0 also. Relative charge is 0 and relative mass is 1. And mass, sometimes they'll ask, sometimes they may not ask. You can, no need to remember about the mass, children. Now, one more thing you have to remember here is the position of these subatomic particles. When it comes to the electron will be outside the nucleus. Okay, by the end of this lesson, we come to know about that also. And whereas a proton, it will be inside the nucleus. When it comes to neutron, it will be inside the nucleus. And one more point also you have to remember here, who discovered these subatomic particles. Like when you come to the electron, it was discovered by J.J. Thomson, already we have discussed. And when it comes to proton, E. Goldstein. Okay, later it was modified by Rutherford. Okay, but it was not mentioned in your textbook. That's why I did not write or tell about that when I am talking about a proton. Okay, when it comes to neutron, it was studied by Chadwick. Already these points I told. I hope, children, you have understood up to here. So up to now we have learned subatomic particles, how they are arranged. Let us study about those subatomic particles in the structure of an atom. So to understand the structure of an atom, scientists have developed different atomic models. So one after the other we are going to study so that we get an idea how these subatomic particles are arranged in an atom. Okay. So actually the first atomic model to understand the structure of an atom was given by J.J. Thomson. So in his name only, we call this atomic model. What we are going to discuss is Thomson's model of an atom. This model was proposed by J.J. Thomson. Already we have discussed Joseph John Thomson. This model is commonly called as a plum pudding model, referring to the way how the fruit pieces are distributed throughout the plum pudding. If you observe in the picture in the plum pudding, here the fruit pieces are nothing but your cherry pieces, how they are arranged in a plum cake in the same way, children. If you see the other picture, how this model symbolizes the whole part, nothing but in the form of a sphere, the positively charged matter in which where you can find the electrons are embedded. I hope you have understood up to here, children. So according to this model, you have to remember an atom is considered to be a sphere of uniform positive charge and electrons are embedded in it. Already I have shown the picture, children. The total mass of an atom is considered to be uniformly distributed throughout the atom. The negative and positive charges are supposed to balance out in the atom as a whole. Atom is electrically neutral. And one more example I can give for this is a watermelon example. The positive charge spread throughout the atom like a red part of the watermelon, and the black seeds distributed throughout the red part represents the electrons. So that observe the two pictures what are there in this slide. Watermelon and Thomson's model of an atom, where a positively charged red matter inside electrons are embedded like that. Compared with the watermelon, the red part is imagine it is a positive charge, and the electrons how they are present are embedded. These electrons like nothing but your black seeds which are present in the red part. So that's why we can take this as also an example for Thomson's model of an atom. So drawbacks of Thomson's model of atom or limitations of Thomson model of an atom. It could not explain the results of scattering experiment. Actually, according to the J.J. Thomson's model of an atom, the electrons are embedded all over in the positively charged spheres. But experiments carried out or done by other scientists showed that protons are present only in the center of an atom and electrons are distributed around it. So Thomson's model could not give experimental verification. So it was later modified by one of his student. He is Rutherford. So we are going to study about Rutherford in the next online video class. Rutherford modified Thomson's model. Okay, the reason behind that when he has done the experiment, the result he observed is a contradiction to Thomson's model of an atom. So he has given his model. Children, we have studied in today's class about subatomic particles like electrons, protons, and neutrons, and the properties of all these subatomic particles. Along with that, we have studied J.J. Thomson's model of an atom. Okay, with that, I'm going to conclude today's class. So I'll meet you in the next online session. So please study well, read the textbook also, follow my lesson. If you have any doubt, just give me a call. Thank you, children.